Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So more work on flowers and vines. Yeah, this is going to be a place to kind of slog through, I think. However, today's kind of exciting. This is my 200th Stitch With Me session. So yeah, whether you're brand new or you've been watching my channel for a while, welcome and thank you for joining me. So this is the last one for this month. And I was saying 23% or 70,000 total. I'll see if I manage to make that. Yeah, just about 100 stitches away from hitting 69,000, and we're just under 22.5%. So we'll see whether I make it or not. It'll be close. Like I said, if I don't, not a huge deal. It's just an estimate. My goal is to have 25% complete by the end of next month, a quarter done, because that's always an exciting milestone. My favorite is always once I pass the 50% mark, then it's all downhill from there, right? Okay. Yeah, as I said, this is a very confetti heavy area on this pattern, so that is part of why it's taken me a lot longer than, say, previous parts of this pass was, yeah, they zipped on by because there were not very many colors in the sky, and then the peacock's neck and such, yeah, those went by really quick, and the top of his wing were not a lot of colors, so they zipped on by. But yeah, this is detailed work here, so let's see. Oh, make sure I'm in the right place. Yep, almost went to the wrong spot. Then I realized my grid lines did not match, so I was not where I should be. Oh, let's see, which thread is, yeah, it's this part down here. When I pulled this working thread up, it kind of pulled that one stitch loose. Yeah, sometimes I have to be careful with parked threads. That can happen, and so to make sure to snug them back up. Yeah, it's still nice here. Went for my walk this morning. Yeah, although I had to take a different route because usually I walk, there's a park a few blocks away, and I walk there, and there's an artificial lake there, and so I walk around the lake and then go home. But I was only able to make it partway around the lake because it turned out the lane was blocked off because they were trimming some overhead branches and stuff that were, yeah, extending into the walkway, which is funny. I was just thinking a day or two before that they needed to be cut back. So yeah, they had it blocked off with pylons. So I sort of walked, saw them, and then turned around and went home. But it was about halfway around the lake, so it was pretty much the same amount of steps. So yeah. Yeah, and they have a couple of those little free library boxes along where I walk. Where it's just something people have done where they have little, yeah, boxes built attached to fences or up on a post or something, and they've got sort of glass door, and it's got a little magnetic catch to keep it closed. But then yeah, they said you can take a book or leave a book. So yeah, I had a few books that I'd finished reading, and I was going to take them to the thrift store. So yeah, I just popped them in there, and we'll see if anybody wants to read them too. Yeah. I don't read paper books as much anymore. most of the paper books I read are because they were in my bathroom. I keep one there for when I'm like brushing my teeth or whatever. Read a few pages. Yeah. I read about 2 or 3 a year that way. Yeah. Yeah, I had people who were surprised because they said they read one book at a time, and I'm like, oh, I read like, half a dozen. They said I'll have one that I'm reading before I go to sleep. I have one in each bathroom, so that's 2 more. Oh, I have one I have on my phone because I always carry like shorter little novellas on my phone for, when I'm waiting in line or something, and I have a few minutes to spare. I'm in a doctor's office waiting room or something like that. Yeah, then I'll read a few minutes there. So that's a 4th one. I usually also have a nonfiction going. So that's 5. And I'll often have a paper book as well on my kitchen table that I just sort of read while I'm eating or while I'm waiting for, the food to come out of the oven. So that's 6. Yeah. Sometimes I have more, but yeah. And somebody says, how do you keep them all straight? I'm like, I don't know. I just do. Ugh. Or what I often used to do was I would read one contemporary and then one was historical. That was easier to keep track that way. But yeah, I don't know. I just do. Yeah, I've mostly stopped buying physical books. I just don't read them that much anymore. And they take up space, so yeah. Yeah, my goal was to sort of, I have, I think, 3 bookshelves, and they're mass market paperbacks, so they're double stacked. And my goal was like to read 1 shelf worth in a year, and I totally didn't get anywhere near close to that. Yeah. I read maybe 3 of them, so yeah. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think I'd become an ebook person, but I love the fact that, I have access to books anytime I have a device, anywhere. Because, I had many times when I still read paper books, and it would really suck if I was reading the book and sort of I lost interest partway through. Because, like I said, I'm not a completist. If you're not keeping my attention, I'm done. I'm going to go to the next book. Or if the characters do something that, pisses me off too much to keep reading, because that happens for sure. Yeah. Yeah, when I feel like I want to jump into the book and shake the character because they're making bad choices, I don't want to keep reading. It's just too annoying. So, yeah. And then it sucks because it's like, well, do I keep reading a story that's annoying me or boring me or read nothing at all? So, yeah. Now it's like, okay, well, if it was no good, next, there's thousands more in the cloud. So, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I'll get a notice from Amazon. It's like, it's been 3 weeks since you bought this book. Surely you've read it by now. Want to do a review? It's like, oh, very funny. Books can take 5 to 10 years to reach the top of my to be read. Yeah. If at all. Because there's sometimes, I get the book because, hey, it's free and it looks halfway interesting, but it ends up in the huge slush pile and never really gets read. Ugh. That's another thing I really like about having novellas, too. It gives you a chance to try a new author without having to commit to a full-length book. Yeah. If it's just, like 100 pages or something, it can give me a nice sample of what their writing is like. And yeah, usually that's what happens is I'll read a novella and think, oh, I liked this author. I'll check out some of their other stuff. So, yeah. Although some authors I find they can't do both. They're sort of good at novella format and not at full-length novels, or vice versa. Yeah. Some authors can do both, but yeah. It really depends. Yeah, kind of like I said, the rise in self-publishing actually changed some book trends. It was a podcast I was listening to, but I mean, I noticed this myself as a reader, because I remember for a long time, especially in historical romance, everything was Regency, like everything. And I mean, I do love the Regency Victorian period to read about, but you know, I wouldn't mind some other stuff. And you know, you get the occasional medieval or Western, but there wasn't that much. Like it was 90% was that. And when people would complain, the publishers and stuff would say, well, you know, that's what sells. And it's like, well, yeah, but also it's selling because people don't have any alternatives, you know? And so when people started self-publishing, some of the trends actually started to move in other directions, and they discovered that, oh, people will actually buy stuff set in other eras if you actually give them the option. But yeah. Oh man, it was kind of like oh, there was a discussion I was in online about, you know, the lack of proper pockets in women's clothing, especially pants. Oh, if you're a lady, you know what I'm talking about. If it's not jeans, it almost always doesn't have pockets, and often they go to the trouble of making fake pockets that look real, but they're completely not functional. You know, you can't even fit the tip of your pinky finger in them, right? And I said, you know, I never understood why they go to the trouble of doing that and not giving you a functional pocket. And then some, you know, guy comes along and is just like, well, it's that way for looks. Just buy the ugly pants that have pockets. And I'm just like, what pants that have pockets, dude? Like, you have no idea what you're talking about, right? Like, it's not, I said, it's not the case of, oh, the pretty ones don't have pockets and the ugly ones do, and I just don't want to buy the ugly ones. It's the case of like over 90% of women's pants do not have pockets. Like, oh, I said, like, I'm in my 40s, and in my life of shopping for dress pants, I found exactly one pair that had functional pockets, and they were sewn shut. I had to take a seam ripper to them, you know. And I said, like, why do they put functional ones in men's pants and not women's pants? Like, we don't have things to carry? And they said, well, you know, it wrecks the line of the clothes. And I'm like, okay, but wouldn't it do that for men too? Yeah. And then I said also, like, I said, you know what really wrecks the line of clothes? When I have to stuff my phone in my bra because I don't have any pockets to stick, you know, my phone into. Like, that looks way sillier than if you just give me a pocket that actually worked, you know? Oh, I say bring back the fanny pack, eh? Everyone laughs at those, but they were practical, you know? If you're not going to give us any ruddy pockets. And I don't like carrying a purse because, yeah, it's unbalanced. So I can only carry it on one shoulder. For some reason, if I put it on my right shoulder, it always falls off. So then I'm carrying myself all, you know, out of alignment. That ain't good for my spine. So I quit doing that. So, yeah. And jeans are I mean, they're not as uncomfortable as they used to be, but they're not the most comfortable, you know. So but yeah, you know, I just said, like, if your solution to a problem that you don't personally deal with is just do X, people would be doing it that already if it were that simple. Like, gee, I hadn't thought of that myself. Gee, thanks. I'm so glad you were here to explain that to me. Like, you really think you're coming with new information. You're totally not. Oh, dear. Yeah, I quit carrying a purse because, like I said, it messed up my neck. So I stopped carrying a big wallet too. So I have a phone case that actually has little card holders in it. So I just have like my ID and my, you know, credit card in there and stuff. So yeah, I don't have to carry so much. Because yeah, I used to carry a purse and it would have like a water bottle, my Kindle, a book, my wallet. Yeah, it was really messing up my neck and back, so I had to quit doing that. Now the only time I really carry a bag is when it's a craft bag. Yeah. And I mean, that's only if I know I'm going somewhere where I can sit down and stitch. So I don't take it many places. It's really only when I'm going to visit a friend or something that I take it with me. So. Yeah, I totally didn't get the whole point of them sewing the pockets shut on my pants either. They said to make it easier to press, but I'm like, again, they don't do that on men's pants. My husband has never had a pair of dress pants with the pockets sewn shut, so, you know, come on. Why was that necessary? Either pin it and press it or, you know, undo that seam after you press it. I don't know. Okay, so just trying to decide. I may go up to this corner here. Yeah, carry on from there, I think. Yeah, I've seen where some people, they stitch sort of in squares. I don't try to do that, but sometimes it just sort of ends up making kind of a square shape just from the way I follow the colors. Okay. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm going to follow the slope of this or not. We'll sort of see as I go. There's too many colors in this area to kind of plan ahead as easily, so I will just kind of play it by ear. 3609. Yeah, talking about pockets in women's clothes. Yeah, one of my friends really likes this one company online. You can get custom made dresses, so you give them your measurements and they actually tailor it to you, and they come with pockets as well, which is the best. Yeah, I haven't ordered any, but maybe one day. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, so I'm past 69,000, so I may keep stitching today after I'm done filming, push myself to get to that 70,000, or maybe the next day or so before the end of the month. But I do want to get some work done on Firefly as well, so yeah, I think I'm pretty much past Inara, the top of her head, and it will be back into a background for a while. So all right, so I'm going to park this one over here like this, and then I'm going to carry that one down to the left, and the other one I'm going to park further out to the right. I remembered to put a water bottle near me today so that I won't get dehydrated, and so hopefully I won't get a headache. Because, yeah, the other day I had to stop stitching because a headache was starting to try and show up, so. And I had forgotten to put my water bottle nearby, so yeah, once I drank some water, it got better. So I think that was it. I was just dehydrated. Okay. Yes, like I said, you can see this is a very high confetti area. Lots and lots of colors. That's why I got so many threads parked. Okay. Yeah, these flowers are very colorful. Although I think my most confetti heavy piece was still my Soulful Mediterranean Tranquility that I started this channel with. Yeah, that was wild. There was like almost no background on that one. And I mean, the detail is gorgeous, but yeah. Although I do have one that I did buy during a Heaven and Earth Design sale that is even more confetti heavy than that. So, however, it's like at the very bottom of my to-do list, so we'll see. I got a lot of projects in between now and then to keep me busy. Don't know if I will actually get to it, hopefully, but well, I try not to have too many charts. Yeah, some people were saying that they've bought like over 300. It's like, wow. Oh, that is a huge investment. Yeah, not gonna live that long. I guess you'll have to hope that you have a kid or a grandkid or something who picks up the hobby, so you can pass it all down to them, right? Oh, it was heartbreaking. Somebody said that their patterns were all just saved to one place, and it was like the hard drive of their computer, and it died, and they were unable to retrieve them, and some of those patterns had also been retired, so they couldn't even replace them, which was, yeah. So like they say, yeah, always back it up in more than one place. I like to email them to myself or put them in like a cloud service, as well as having them actually downloaded to my hard drive, because yeah, then they should be retrievable. you know, there's some people who still prefer to work from paper, and they had where their dog got a hold of the paper pattern and chewed through one of the pages. Thankfully, yeah, the designer was willing to give them a replacement of just that one page, yeah, free of charge, because yeah, oh dear. Okay, just seeing the way these kind of interweave with each other determines which one I'm going to do first. Find my thread card. So yeah, I keep all my leftover pieces threaded into a card, and then it's easy to find a piece when you need one that you have only a few stitches, so you don't need a full length piece. Yeah, I like to cut my pieces to about 33 inches long or so, and then I double it. I use loop starts, so yeah. Well, what I do is I unwind the skein and I fold it in half 3 times, so that makes 8 equal pieces. So however long that works out to be, yeah, is how long my pieces are. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this other color that I was looking at. Oh, I think my tablet might need a reboot soon. Yeah, it's being a bit laggy. Well, I can't remember the last time I restarted it, so it's probably time. Yeah, my son gets frustrated with his computer, and one of the first things I always ask him is, you know, when did you last shut it down? Because, yeah, they don't do great running continuously. They do need, and I said, and not just restart either, because, yeah, when you restart, it doesn't fully shut down everything, and sometimes if there's a problem with one of those processes, then, yeah, it still won't fix it. So sometimes there's just no, you know, no way around it. You have to completely shut it down and restart. Well, I mean, that's always step one, right? When you're troubleshooting something. Yeah, my husband, you know, he's a technician, and so yeah, it's like that's the very first thing they always is have them power cycle it, turn it off, turn it back on, and sometimes that fixes it. It's funny because I remember one time having to call the satellite people, and I said I already, you know, shut it down and restarted it, and I didn't fix it, and they made me do it again. I guess because that's the script they have to follow. Was, yeah, it was kind of frustrating because it's like, yeah, I know there's people who will say they've done that and they haven't, but I actually had. Oh, and it was kind of frustrating too because it was on its last legs, so it took forever to boot up. Yeah. Yeah, we ended up switching from the satellite to fiber optic. Well, they kept on increasing the price like every few months, and I said, you know, we've been customers with you for like 13 years. Don't you think we should get some kind of loyalty, you know, break, rather than you guys keep charging us more for the same service, which is not as good as it used to be? Because yeah, I had one time I called them saying problem was with my PVR machine that I would have stuff programmed in, and it did air at that time, and it just randomly would decide not to record it for no reason. And they said, okay, well, can we leave it running for a couple hours and see if that fixes your problem? I'm like, how would that fix the problem? This has been going on for weeks, you know? But yeah. Yeah, plus I found with the new fiber optic now, I can record several things at once. With my old satellite PVR, you couldn't, unless you paid extra for a machine that was more powerful. Yeah. This one, I think you can record and watch up to 5 things at once or something. So yeah, sometimes my husband and son will be watching something downstairs. I'll be watching something upstairs, and there's a couple of programs recording at the same time, and it's like almost never crashes. Yeah. So, yeah, because it was really frustrating for me for a while. I found, all shows want the same primetime slots. And when you can only record one thing at a time, yeah. It really limited it. I would sit there making charts and trying to figure out if I could get everything to juggle, but there were some slots, like usually Thursdays at like 6 and 9, were like the favorite slots, and everything would be showing at that slot, and there were no other, times available that one particular show would be airing. And so, yeah, you just have to decide which one you wanted. And I said, yeah, it kind of frustrates me because they would have, no repeats, no playing anywhere else. They try and put up a new show that I was interested in, but up against an established one. And then it's like, yeah, they wonder why the ratings suck. Well, if you think you're going to go up against Law and Order or The Big Bang Theory and win, you're nuts, Oh. Okay. Yeah. This, the actors' strike is still going on, so there are definitely not as many shows to watch right now. We got lots of stuff that we're for streaming to catch up on, so yeah, it's not like we're gonna run out for now. Yeah, the writer's strike came to an end, but the actor's strike is still ongoing. Yeah, so I did not start this session out at 0. I think I was around 104 or something when I started, so yeah, like I said, it is slower going. Oh, I had a busy morning, so yeah, my dishwasher was running, so I wanted to wait till that was done so I wouldn't have that noise in the background. Oh, got a vertebrae in my back that feels like it needs to pop, but won't. Oh, I'll have to stretch out later. Yeah, we got our kids' school pictures the other day, and poor guy, he has a hard time smiling for the camera. I do too. Yeah. It just feels so awkward to try and smile on command, so yeah. The candid shots almost always have a better, more natural smile, right? Yeah. Yeah, he was really photogenic when he was younger, but I guess he didn't have any anxiety about it then, right? Yeah. You get older and you get more anxious, so. So yeah, I had one time and I said, you can caption this because he had this kind of like uncomfortable looking sort of half smirk on his face, you know, and I said, you know, when your mom asks if you enjoyed the dinner that you made and stuff, yeah. Mm. So yeah, we're at 22.5% now. So that means, yeah, I would have to stitch about over 1,500 more stitches, I think, to reach 23. So we'll see. Less than 1,000 to reach 70,000 complete. So, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get that either. Ooh. Yeah, so I've been kind of following, there's a sloping sort of going this way, and I may just continue following that for a bit. Because I don't feel like going in and filling in all the stuff that's above it right now. So I've been a bit more relaxed on this piece than I was on the Soulful Mediterranean Tranquility piece. Yeah, I've been following the shape of the colors a bit more on this one. Gosh. Okay, don't go shredding there. Okay, I do not want to have to try and thread this again, so I'm going to just do the last stitch with this one and tie it off, because yeah, this thread is getting so fuzzy that it's getting tough to thread it. So even though it's out of order, I'm going to do it that way. Whew. Oh, my goodness, pardon me. Yeah, I woke up starving in the middle of the night. Oh, I had to get up and eat a couple granola bars. I don't know why. I ate a normal, you know, dinner, but I don't know, sometimes that just happens. I don't know, maybe because I was kind of cold. Yeah, my feet were frozen, and I was going to use my water bottle, but it was so old that it split. Fortunately, I discovered that it split before I stuck it in my bed, because that would have really sucked, but yeah. I was filling it with hot water, and then I kind of gave it a little squeeze just to double check if it was still good, and yeah, it just went split, and it was like luckily over the sink, so I didn't get water everywhere. And like, yeah, I guess they don't last forever. The rubber eventually does dry out and crack, so because yeah, I did have one time that it split while it was in my bed, so I had to pull out my shop vac, and that really sucked. So yeah, I was just like, okay, I don't have I said to my husband, you know, my hot water bottle broke. Can I stick my feet on you? He says, yeah, okay, sure. Oh, yeah. I know he loves me then when he lets me stick my cold feet on him. Yeah, that was one nice thing. When I was pregnant, you know, women always complain about being too hot. I was perfect. It was perfect for me. Because, yeah, most of my pregnancy was over the winter, and we have cold winters. And I had the baby end of March, so we were in the spring thaw. But yeah, that meant I was nice and warm all winter. It was perfect. Yeah. And my hands and feet were warm. They never are. I have lousy circulation. And yeah, it was so nice. And for like a year after he was born, too, I didn't have to wear slippers or anything. My feet were nice and toasty. I thought, wow, maybe it's permanent. But yeah, unfortunately, no. It went away again. I was like, darn. Yeah, there's times I alternate and I'll sort of sit on one foot to thaw it out and then switch, yeah. When I was at work, we had concrete floors and I actually bought a foot warmer. And I read the reviews on Amazon and people were complaining that it was too hot. I'm like, oh, that means it'll probably be perfect for me. And I was totally right. Yeah. Yeah, they were nice. It was nice and toasty. I would use it here, but the problem is it kind of, with the feet of my stitching stand, it would, yeah, get in the way. So, kind of wouldn't work. I do have a heated throw blanket, so sometimes when it's really cold in the winter, yeah, I will put that across my lap while I stitch. Yeah, I had to be careful with my foot warmer at work though, because it didn't have an automatic shut off. So if you left it on, it would stay on until you shut it off again. And so yeah, I actually had to put an alarm in my phone about 5 minutes before it was time for me to leave for home to remind me to turn it off so I didn't start a fire with it. I mean, it was unlikely to happen, but I sure would not want to be the person who would be responsible for having done that. So yeah. Because I had one before that it had an automatic like 3-hour shut off. But yeah, the second one I bought, but it was wimpy. It was barely warm at all. It was more just like not cold. So like concrete can feel like ice, and basically it just kept it from feeling icy, but it didn't actually feel warm. Yeah, which was not what I needed. Yeah, and I bought these foot warmer inserts for your shoes. They're actually for hunters, and they worked great for a month and then they died. They're supposed to last for a year. I guess they mean a year if you only use them for hunting, which means you only use them 3 or 4 times in that year, not for every day. So yeah. And they were supposed to be under warranty, and I tried to contact the company and they never got back to me. So yeah, it sucked. Yeah, they actually came with like a little remote control you could use to turn them on, to turn them up or down or on or off. And I had 2 sets of batteries, so I would have one charging while the other I was wearing it. And yeah, like I said, it was great for a month, and then yeah, they died. Okay. Oh, I thought that one would be out in my tray, but it's not. Okay. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't know who I got that from, because my mom had the warmest hands, like always. I remember one time I had a piano competition. We were in the church, my hands were freezing. And yeah, she sat there and she held them in my hands in hers to warm them up, so that, because I mean, it's hard to play the piano with cold, stiff fingers, right? So yeah. and like my dad doesn't have particularly cold hands or feet either, so I don't know where I got it from, but okay, 160. Yeah, I swear that's part of the reason why I sleep better when my husband is home, because I could stick my feet on him to keep me warm. Okay. Darn, this thread has a knot in it. It's right at the end, so no big deal. It's only a couple millimeters lost. Yeah, I got pulled tight before I got a chance to catch it, because sometimes, yeah, if I see that it's going to form a knot, I kind of stick a needle in there and then I can undo it again. But yeah, I did not catch this one in time. Make sure I'm grabbing the right one. Yeah. Similar blues here next to each other, so yeah, gotta be careful. Okay, so this is the one I said I'm going to carry down this way. Okay, I'm going to park this one. Let's take a look. Park that right there for now. Got kind of several threads I'm juggling there, so we'll see if I have to tie one off or not. There we go. So yeah, the shape of the leaf is kind of slanting that way, and I'm just sort of following it. I used to stick more strictly to the same diagonal, but I don't as much anymore. Okay, it's a little closer to carry this one to the right, and I'll start a new one to carry to the left for the other. stitches of this color. Oh, wind is picking up there, making my window frame pop. Yeah, I think after I finish this this filming session, I'm going to reboot this tablet because it's being very laggy. And it's still a pretty new tablet. I only got it this year, so yeah. Better not be dying on me already, that's for sure. I would not be happy about that. Oh, where did I put my scissors? Darn it, I had them around here. I know I just used them, so where the heck did they go? Oh my gosh, where did I put them? Oh, there they are. Okay. Yeah, they ended up near the back of the couch. Further than I usually put them. I usually try to keep them in close reach of my hand. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I start from the front, but I spent years doing loop starts from the back that I still sometimes do it that way automatically, forgetting that but I do them all from the front now. Yeah, I think I'll kind of go out as far as this color goes and then continue sloping off the other way down towards the left. Okay. I'm adding way more colors than I'm ending today, I think. It's just the way it works out sometimes. Yeah, pretty soon it will be time to take this off my frame and do my monthly update video. Show you the whole thing so far. Yeah, I always love looking at the progress from one month to a next. Sometimes it can feel like you're not making a lot, but yeah, then when you compare the pictures, I realize that you actually did pretty well. Okay. Okay, that's a longer piece than I thought. I'm going to check the other one. Let's park down here. Yeah, it's not very long, so I will carry this one and park it. If this other thread was longer down here and enough for sort of all the stitches in that area, I would have just tied this one off. But since it's not, I'll just carry it. Avoid having to add another new thread later. bunch in a row here of the same color. I haven't had much of that today. Okay, so there, and then I'm gonna come back over to the left a bit. Wow. Just making sure sometimes when it's really uneven like that, it's because you got a snarl on the back, but no, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I always double check before I trim it. So if there's a snarl, obviously I want to try and undo it. I like things to lie nice and smooth. Okay. Yeah, I remember earlier this other one parked below was only enough for one stitch, that I decided I was going to add another thread when I got to these ones that are up higher. I think I may be ready to take a break soon. Oh, look at that, I've done 222. Of course, not all during this this stitching session, yeah. Like I said, I didn't start at 0, so. Okay, so in order to get this thread, I can either do them out of order or I can go over to the left again a little bit, which is what I think I'll do. Fill in a little more, and then I think I will be calling it a day. Okay, I filled all that in just so I could do both these stitches in a row without closing anything in. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll do these stitches, and I think that will be where I'll call it a day. Need to get up and stretch. The back is starting to hurt, so yeah, that was a lot of confetti. My word. The detail sure does look nice. All right, make sure that I remember to mark those as done. So there. Yeah, that was a pretty good session today, and I thank you so much for joining me and hope to see you here next time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.